Hi, today we're going to talk about processes and jobs on the Linux platform. So we will look at the command ps, which will show you the processes. We will look at how we can find out the job numbers when we create a process, how we can put some jobs in the background and bring them back into the foreground, as well as how to abort or kill a particular job. All right, so I'm logged into the Linux platform on the Matrix server, and let's take a look with the ps command what it shows us. So a ps command primarily will show you basic information about the PID, which is the process ID, because everything that runs on Linux is a process. So right now you'll see that there's two processes, each with its own unique number called process ID. So bash, because bash shell is running, so that's one process. And because I just typed the ps command, so ps is the second process, each with its own ID. If I do a ps with a -l, then I see some more information. So in particular, you don't need to remember all this, but in particular, just make note that it also shows you PPID, which is the parent process ID. So as you can see, this process is coming from this parent. So it kind of ties the parent and the child process together. And because both of these are my processes, all of them have the same UID or user ID. If there was a lot more processes we were looking at, we can do that with AUX, and it'll show us a whole bunch of processes that are running for other users as well. And we can narrow it down to certain specific users if we want. So I'm just going to do a quick finger command or a who command to see the other people that are logged in. And then I can do a ps command with the -U and then put the user ID here. So I'm just going to say SCHOI123, which is one of the users, and it shows me that these are the processes that that user is running. So you can narrow down a certain user if you know the user ID. How do you find out user ID? You can do a who command, that's one way, and it'll list all the users that are currently logged in. We can also do a top command. When we type top, what it does is it shows us a continuous update of usage statistics on what is happening. So as you can see, a lot of the root or the sysadmin processes are running, and it kind of keeps updating this. Again, you don't need to know the details of this, just know that top command will show you a continuously updated user statistics. To come out of this, I can simply type Q, and that takes me out of the top command. Now, so far, every time we run a command, it finishes very quickly within a few seconds. So in order to show you how we can simulate a long process which is running, I'm going to use the sleep command. And what a sleep command will do is it'll loop as many times as the number you put here. So I'm going to say sleep 400, so it gives a large number. And this will keep running for 400 seconds because it'll go 1 and then 2 and keep going until it reaches 400. So just to show you how we can have a process that takes a long time to run, because I want to then temporarily suspend that process. So now if I hit enter, it's just holding on to my cursor. I can do nothing until this finishes. So this would simulate a job that's taking a long time to run. If we want to temporarily suspend that job, what's going to happen is we can do Control and Z together. Control Z. And when we do that, it's going to stop the process. So now this process is not running anymore. If I say jobs, I'll see that one process is stopped. I can run another one, sleep maybe 500 this time. And again, it's running for too long. I'm going to go Control Z, and that is stopped as well. I'll run one more time with sleep 600, and I will Control Z out of it. So now if I say jobs, you can see that 3 jobs are running. Actually, 3 jobs were running and they stopped. So what if we wanted to bring this, one of these jobs, let's say this one here, let's say we want to bring this back. Let's put this in the background actually. So our goal is that we don't want to stop it altogether. We still want this particular job to run. This is, by the way, job number 2. We want it to run, but we want it to run in the background. What that means is our command line will still be available to keep doing what we're doing, and it'll just be running in the background. So how do we put something in the background? One way to do that is use the BG command for background. And we follow this with the %sign and the job number. So because I'm referring to job number 2, I'm going to go %2. When I hit enter, it's running that in the background. So notice that I still have my command line back. How do I know it's running in the background? I can do jobs, and notice that this one says running now. You can also manually put something into the background by physically putting an %sign. So if I did another sleep command, let's say 700, but now I want this, I don't want to hit enter because it'll start running and it'll take up my command line. So what I want to do is I want to run this in the background. So all I have to do is put ampersand at the end of it, and when I hit enter, my command line is with me, and if I do jobs, I can see that this is running in the background. So you can manually put something in the background by typing the command and putting at the very end an %sign. Or if it's temporarily stopped, you can put it in the background by going BG and then % followed by the job number. Let's look at the jobs that are running. And what if I wanted to now, let's say, take this 3rd job, and I want to bring this into the foreground. Bringing it to the foreground means it's now going to be as if I just, it'll occupy the command line. I won't have access to the command line if I do this. All right, so I want to bring this into the foreground. So FG is for foreground, and then followed by % and the job number. So %3 in this case. So now you can see that sleep 600 is right here, it's running, and I do not have access to the command line. If I want to temporarily stop it again, I can go Control Z and it's going to stop it again. Let's look at the jobs again. What if I wanted to not just stop something, not temporarily, not just run it in the background, I don't want it running in the foreground, but my goal is to completely abort or kill that particular job. And you may want to do that if you have a rogue job, which means something that's doing things you didn't expect or you didn't want. For example, this could be a job which is infinite, in an infinite loop, and just writing and writing to a file, and that's because there's a bug in the program and you want to stop it. So regardless of the reason, if you want to stop a job permanently, the command for that is the kill command, and you need to follow that with the job number. So I can go %4, and that's going to kill that job. Now you can also kill a job using the process ID. So when I say PS, my process IDs are indicated. So you don't want to kill the bash shell. I actually have a couple of them running here, because that will terminate the whole process, because bash is where all the other processes are coming within that. So I want to kill one of these ones. So I can do kill, and I can do 117.329, and now when I do the PS command, the 329 is gone. This one 329 is gone. So we looked at 2 ways. One, kill with the job number. So job number with the percent sign before that, and one with the process ID. Now, sometimes if it's a high priority job, it may not get terminated fully even with the kill command. So to be sure that a job is killed, you can go kill -9 and then put the job number or put the process ID. So I'm just going to use another process ID, 117346, and that makes sure that no matter what the priority is or no matter what that job is, it's going to definitely kill that particular process. So again, I can do a PS and I should see that 346 is no longer there. All right, so those are some of the things you need to know about processes and jobs. So we looked at PS command, we looked at the sleep command, which we use just to make a job run longer. We saw how we can stop something temporarily using Control-Z, how we can find out job numbers using the job command, how we can put a job in the background by referring to background %job number, and we can take any command and put this n% at the end, and it'll put that command to run in the background. If something is running in the background, we saw how we can bring it to the foreground by going foreground %job number. And if we just said foreground, it would bring the last job that we ran would come into the foreground. Then we looked at kill command to either kill a job by going %job number or kill a job using the process ID. And if it's still having problems terminating, then we would do a kill -9 or -9 followed by the process ID, and that's going to kill that job for sure. All right, that'll be it for this topic, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.